Reference video. Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I'm doing a quick reference video, and the reason I'm doing this video because I got some news on my other 7.3. I will not be doing the same setup. I'm going to be doing the fuel bowl delete, but it's going to have a electric fuel pump, so therefore I have to make this video. Unfortunately, I cannot do a step-by-step install, but I will try to explain it as best as possible. If you have any questions, shoot them down below. The link for this kit is going to be down below. Also, the fuel bowl removal link will be down below. So anything you need will be down below in the description. Okay, so let's get to it. First, on your 7.3 install, what you're going to do is remove the fuel bowl housing, which is located right down here. Again, look down below. There'll be a removal video, how to remove your fuel bowl housing. Okay? Okay, next you're going to have your fuel bowl out. After removing your fuel bowl, this is what it's going to look like. The only difference is you're going to have a wiring harness here for your heater, and it's going to be a wiring harness with 3 plugs, okay, and 1 plug is going to go to your IPR. Now, what you're going to want to do is you're going to separate that whole wiring harness, take off the tape or any kind of protective shielding around it. You're going to cut off your 3 plugs. Do not cut your IPR plug, the IPR plug that I will show you here in a second where it goes. You're going to cut these off here, off your fuel bowl, tape them up, but do not cut your IPR plug. And I will show you here in a second which one that is. Okay, your IPR plug is going to look like this. Right here, and it plugs into, there's a sensor that goes into your high pressure oil pump. It's right there. This is the only plug you're going to leave on that whole harness that plugs into your main harness on your engine. Everything else you're going to tape back up, put your heat shield back on. This will be left, and your main plug that goes into your main harness into your engine, and that's it. All these other ones off your fuel bowl, don't need them no more. Okay, I'm going to show you where it plugs in. Plugs in right here. That is the only plug you're going to have left, as you can see like I do right here. And it runs into right here, your main harness. And that's where your other plugs were plugged in from the fuel bowl. Don't need them no more. Okay, so once you have your fuel bowl out, okay, this left hose on your fuel pump, I'm sorry, your right hose, right here. This one here is going to stay on. You're going to keep that one on. You're going to be working with the left side barb here on your fuel pump, left side and the bottom one. Those are your 2 hoses leading up to your fuel filter. One is going into the filter, one is the return after it's filtered. There it is. Left side and the bottom barb. Right side stays stock. Okay. Next, what I done is you're going to install your filter housing. You're going to get a filter housing with the filter. Right here on your OBSs, there's going to be 2 holes already drilled in to your quarter panel. Already pre-drilled, these are going to line up with your fuel filter housing. You're going to mount that on there. Do not mount your filter yet. Mount that on there. You're going to put your hoses on. Now, as you can see, it's very important that your hoses are angled a little bit down so it misses this hinge right here. If you keep your hoses perfectly horizontal, what's going to happen, this hinge is going to hit them. You have to angle both of them. Also, your shutoff right here. This is your shutoff when you're changing your filter. You're going to want the actual shutoff mounted horizontal, not straight up, because it's going to hit right here on your hood. Very important how this is mounted so you don't have any issues. Angle down to the side. There's no issues at all. After you have your hoses installed, pre-fill your filter, screw it on, and that's it. Oh, and also you're going to use the 2 rear ports here facing the firewall, and it's already with arrows on there. It has arrows on there. Okay? Like I said, you don't have to do any kind of drilling, any kind of modifying. It's just the way it's you set your hoses up and your shutoff. All right. So this hose here that's going into your filter is going to go on the left barb of your fuel pump. That's feeding the filter, going in through the filter. Now the shutoff is this one here, going back in. It's going to go on a lower barb of your mechanical fuel pump. Okay? You might have to trim these hoses a few inches. You might not, depending how you are going to run them. If you're wanting to mount this as a frame on your frame underneath your truck, do email the seller and tell them you need longer hoses. Because the hoses you will get for this kit is for this setup exactly right here as I have it set up. If you do not like where that filter is mounted, make sure you email him and tell him you need longer hoses. Okay? So now your fuel regulator. Very simple. These 2 lines were coming off your regulator, off your fuel bowl. This metal line here that's sticking up vertically, that's your return for your fuel regulator here. Okay? The way it's going to come set up is you're going to have a 45 on the left and a 90 on the right and a 45, well, I'm sorry, a 90 on the bottom of the fuel regulator. So you're going to have 2 90s, 145. And the reason it's done like that, because of the length of these hoses. And I'm using the stock hoses, and that's just the way it comes, and you have to use these fittings so it's a proper fit and they're not bending in funny ways, and you have good flow of fuel coming in. The mounting point of the fuel regulator is going to be right here on top of your HPOP pump, high pressure oil pump. Basically, that was holding the wiring harness. The harness is still in place. You're going to take that nut off. Comes with a extra bracket here. You're going to mount the bracket first, then the fuel regulator is going to mount onto that bracket. And everything fits perfectly. You don't have to do any kind of modifications as long as you use this setup that I used, because that's what he sells. So basically that's it. Oh, it's preset at 60, 65. You might have to mess with it. I started my truck with 1 crank. Didn't have any issues. I thought I would have to crank it. You shouldn't have any issues. 1, 2 cranks, your truck should start. Once you get it running, you know, check it out. If you have to adjust it, loosen a nut, get an Allen key, and get up to 65. I'm running, I have to adjust mine. It's between 65 and 70. Truck is running fine without any issues. But with the mechanical pump, you know, your needle jumps because it is a mechanical pump. So it's very hard to get a perfect 65 PSI, but try to get as close as possible. And that's basically it. Very easy setup. It does take a few hours. Make sure you have a few hours. It's not going to be a quick thing. But, yeah, it's simple. I mean, you're going to get everything in a kit. Throw it on. If you have any questions, either email me or email Crew Diesel. Like I said, I'm going to throw a link below to his eBay page. Great guy to deal with. True mechanic, true diesel mechanic. You're not going to deal with some guy selling diesel parts because he thinks it's cool to sell diesel parts. No, this is a true diesel mechanic. He will answer any of your questions. If I can answer them, I will answer them. You guys have a good day. Thanks for watching.